Hello, Alberto. Hans here. I saw your mail and I wanted to present this about accuracy in underground mines using Wi-Fi as good as I can. So I made this small movie for you. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask me. So if we look at underground mining and positioning, then there are many alternatives to do that, some better, some worse, some based on standard technologies and some proprietary technologies. But I will not bother you about or bore you with all these facts now, but basically we can say that there are two main technologies used, two alternatives that are usually made for underground mining today, and that is Wi-Fi or LTE, mobile networks, together with BLE, Bluetooth Low Energy beacons. Wi-Fi and LTE has about the same bandwidth. LTE has a bit more functions and feature when it comes to quality of service and so on. The coverage is much better in LTE. Wi-Fi has a good coverage, but I would say that Wi-Fi has an accuracy, maybe let's say 75 meters in average, whilst LTE, plain LTE has very bad accuracy. But together with Bluetooth, you can get about the same accuracy as with Wi-Fi. And both these are a standard technology, so that's good. The ecosystem is slightly bigger still for Wi-Fi, but LTE is catching up quite rapidly. So why do some people say that they can have better accuracy in Wi-Fi networks? Well, some companies claim that they can get something like 10 meters accuracy in Wi-Fi, but that is actually a lie. Because what they are really meaning is that you could probably do this in an office space, not in an underground mine, but at an office where you might hear a lot of access points and you can fingerprint these office spaces. So you know that when you're in a certain room, you hear this and that access point, this good. In underground mine, this is actually not as simple, as first we only maybe hear one or two access points at the same time, and the radio waves does not go through the walls like in an office space. So basically, you could say that the rule of thumb when it comes to the accuracy is somewhere in between half the distance between the access points. So in Mobilaris, we can say that we have basically two alternatives when it comes to positioning algorithms. The most used is called strongest access point. And then the accuracy becomes, as I said, basically the half of the distance between access points. This is by far the most robust positioning method, as it will basically give you the same performance every time. And I would say that this positioning method is the one most used, and in most cases give you what's needed to solve your use cases. There is another alternative which we call access point profiling, which is let's say in 75% of the cases it would result in an accuracy a bit better than the first one, but in 25% of the cases it will be worse. So that's the nature of it. And what it is really is that it uses the information of how the access points can hear each other, and that is also limited in the sense that only work with Wi-Fi vendors where we know where the access points can know which neighbors it has, and that's basically only Cisco. So with extreme networks, then it should be strongest access point that is the should be the used method in Wi-Fi. If we look at a tunnel, then an example here, and on the picture on the top, you have, let's say, how it looks like in Mobilaris system, and in the lower part, it is how it is in the real mine. So in this example, let's say that you have two access points, A and B, in reality here in the tunnel, which is then depicted in the picture above in Mobilaris system by this green access point icons here. Let's say you have a miner that is standing somewhere in the mine here. So when he is positioned then by this access point, then it works like this, that his tag will send out a signal, which we then can read from the access points, and we can then see how good did the access point hear this tag. And in this case, the access point A is heard a bit better than the B one. So in the Mobilaris system then, the strongest access point algorithm will then say that we will put this icon for this person under this access point here to the left. When this person then is walking a bit in the mine, a bit further away, but still he is still closer to access point A than B. So A can hear his tag still better than what the B access point can do. So then at this time in Mobilaris system, the person's icon will remain under the A access point like this. When this person then moves further away, so that suddenly the B access point hears the tag better than the A access point, then we move this icon to that under that access point in the map. That's like what we can do from the Mobilaris point of view, because we are not certain where he is within this area. If then, let's say it comes a truck and parks between the access point B and the person, then it might be the case that this truck blocks totally the radio waves from the access point B, so that in this case then, the only access point that actually can hear this person's tag is the access point A. And then in turn, in the Mobilaris map, we move the icon back to this one. So that kind of behavior is what you will see sometimes when the radio environment changes dependent on different things, such as you maybe have a machine, a truck between you and access point, so you can't just hear one. So that's the problem with Wi-Fi positioning in the mine. But I'm not really sure that this is a problem, because this Wi-Fi accuracy would be enough for many use cases, such as localization of machines, people, and stuff like that in a mine. Maybe you have many kilometers of tunnels in the mine, so to know where somebody is, let's say in 75 meters, would be then kind of okay. For ventilation on demand, this is also doable. You can create ventilation on demand based on these premises as well. Emergency support is also possible to realize with this kind of solution. So, I mean, you will not use this to pinpoint the person in dark smoke, but you know that this person is in this area. You can also use this for analytics of different kinds, so calculate phase utilizations and so on, and many more use cases. So, I mean, if you have a mine like this and you have access point everywhere, and these yellow dots resembles people, I mean, to know where something is in this maybe 50, 60 kilometers of tunnels, to see that this person is in the same area, let's say 75 meters, like this machine, then you know that that person is somewhere here at the face, whilst this person is a bit behind him connected to another access point. This is normal in underground mines. However, if we look at your situation at Matsa, I think I know that you have this system where you have these directional antennas spreading out to each side. And then Andreas Karvonen was kind enough to give me this picture, and I know that in some of the cases you have pretty long distances between your access points. That means that if we use the strongest access point algorithm, that means that the accuracy you would kind of then, in this case, if you have 340 meters apart, then maybe you could say that the accuracy would be something between 170 meters. So it's not as good as if you would have had access points located more close to each other. But there is a way to solve this for you, and this is important. So if you would have an ordinary Wi-Fi tag, like our personal tag or our vehicle tags, then this is basically the accuracy you would get, like 170 meters. You would jump from this access point to that access point in the map. And maybe that's okay, I don't know, for you. But one thing we could do to make this better is actually to use the virtual tag. You know, the virtual tag is a tag where we use a mobile phone with a software in it to become like a tag. And that tag then can make use of many technologies at the same time. It can use LTE if you would have that. It can make use of Wi-Fi. It can make use of GPS, and it also can make use of Bluetooth. So just one idea for you, Alberto, is that if you would then use the virtual tag for, let's say, people, and you would put out BLE beacons that are quite cost efficient. I think the price for a BLE beacon is somewhere around $20. Let's say you would put them, let's say 50, 70 meters apart in your tunnels. Then we could use that technology with the virtual tag to actually get something, let's say, between 30 meters instead. So I think that could be a solution for you. I hope this was interesting, and thank you for listening.